Right.
The First Order troopers are kidnapped children who are forced into a cult from the day they've been kidnapped and for the rest of their lives. Mm-hmm. They're very different, but in name, they are the same. Which, again, is the difference between Nazis and neo-Nazis. Nazis didn't kidnap their their soldiers from birth and force them to be in a cult. Most Nazis were just German soldiers.
Right.
People doing what they thought was necessary to defend Germany, following orders.
Right.
They're not bad people, they just don't know better.
Well, yeah, the German army is the majority of, the Nazi
right.
part. Yeah.
Neo-Nazis, on the other hand, will constantly take children and raise them with their racist ideology and teach them to be horrific people. They know they're the bad guy. Every neo-Nazi knows what they're doing is wrong.
Then why do they do it? They know it's wrong.
Because they don't think it's wrong. They think it's the right thing to do because it's their right as a racist fucking Aryan bullshit.
Wait. But then they don't know it's wrong then, right?
No, that's... Okay. You're mistaking knowing something's wrong for trying to justify it. Okay? So, actually, let's put it this way. If you stole something from me, would I be justified in killing you?
Killing? No. You beating me up? Yeah.
Right? Well, even beating you up? No.
What?
I'm not justified to beat you up for stealing something from me. Well, not when I have the alternative of simply taking it back.
I suppose.
I cannot like you anymore.
Well, sure.
I'm justified in severing ties with you as a friend, but I'm not justified in assaulting you because you took something from me. Right?
I guess so, yeah.
Because that's a bit of an extreme reaction to losing an item.
Yeah, I guess it would be a bit extreme. Yeah.
But, just like Nazis, it's not right for them to be racist. It's not right for them to try and remove other races from existing. They cannot like other people, sure. But you're not in the right. But, neo-Nazis will justify... Like, it'd be like if I came over and killed you, and your wife was like, what are you doing, you fucking psycho? And I was like, he stole something of mine, and me being its rightful owner has every right to kill you. Just because I say it doesn't mean it's true.
Okay.
And even if I believe I had the right to kill you, doesn't mean I actually had the right to kill you.
Right?
I agree. And it doesn't mean that I don't know what I did was wrong. It just means I'm full of shit. And I'm saying that I did something that I feel is right.
Do you think most racists actually know what they're doing isn't right?
They 100% know.
Then what?
As someone who grew up with racist people, it's... Okay, so weird. Let me explain racist to you.
Okay. Well, I always thought I understood, It's not like I'm unfamiliar with the concept.
I feel like you are.
Well, it's isn't it? If I remember right, because there's a difference between being xenophobic and actually being racist. Because a
xenophobic and racist are very different.
Because a xenophobe is someone who's afraid of people who are different than them, whereas a racist is someone who hates people who are different than them.
So let's go over first the myth that phobia or phobe put on the end of anything actually means fear. Xenophobe.
And for the record, everyone, hold on, actually, before we get into this, this is the end of the Star Wars part.
Probably. Oh, yeah, the Star Wars part is over. This is just going to go into other stuff.
Yeah.
You're clear to leave if you're done with the Star Wars. That part's over. You're good.
I got about 20 more minutes before I have to wrap everything up. So
xenophobes and homophobes are not actually a fear of gay people or a fear of people from another culture.
Okay.
It is a fake term created by people who are racist or homophobic, aka people who don't like gays. But they're not real conditions. They're not actual phobias.
I'm looking it up right now, and it says xenophobic. Oh, maybe they changed it. Now it says having or showing a dislike of or prejudice against people from other countries.
Yeah, see? It's not actually a fear.
Weird.
It's an excuse that people use.
Whereas xenophobic is what I just said. Xenophobia is a fear of strangers, and it's a broad term that is applied to any fear of someone who's different from you.
Yeah, that's just in general, you get panicked when you leave your house.
Huh.
which is not what people use
That's
when
not what
they
use
talk
it.
about, I don't want the Mexicans
Right.
entering the country.
So the word's not wrong. People are just using the word wrong. Because I'm looking it up. Xenophobia is actually the medical... Like, I'm looking it up, like in the DSM. It's like, this actually is the
Right,
term.
but that's not what people think of when they say it.
Right. So I'm curious what the actual term would be then. You know what I mean?
It's racist.
It's just racist? Oh, okay.
Or prejudice.
Oh, okay.
Like,
gotcha, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it literally, it's just people trying to gussy up the horrible shit they do.
Okay, gotcha.
Which same with like homophobic. You're not scared of gay people.
Of course not. No one uses it like that.
You just don't like it.
Right. Or you hate it. I've always said it's me hate something.
You're not fucking scared of it.
Right.
And so with that same thing, so racism in general,
right,
or racists in general, especially of the white supremacy variety, which is what neo-Nazis would be, believe that they inherently are better than every other race.
Sure.
They feel it is their God-given right to rule the world, including forcing every other race as their slaves.
Okay.
That is the inherent founding ideas of white supremacy. Is that they believe they are superior.
I wonder where that stems from. That's just so weird. Okay.
It stems from colonialism and just general racism throughout generations. Because racism can be unlearned.
Well, yeah,
it is not an inherent feat.
Well, yeah, it's taught. Yeah,
it is taught, and because of that, one of the biggest problems with racism is that the people who practice it are bullshit.
Well, some of them probably genuinely believe it.
No. So here's what I mean. I can prove this because I grew up with racists.
Okay.
Racists, if you're listening, you're full of shit. Because if you're racist, your idea, again, inherently is that you are better than every other race.
Right.
This has been scientifically disproven a ridiculous number of times. Like a ridiculous number of times. That there is no one superior race. That white people are in no way superior to other races.
Well, race in itself is just a construct anyway. It's just a color. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, race
again, which is what proves that you can't be superior to other people of your same race.
Yeah, like
simply by the color of your skin.
Like, white dogs don't think black furred dogs are any different. You know, it's just a human equality too, which is weird. Again,
this is the problem with racists and why they're bullshit.
Right.
And why you can never give racists the argument of they don't know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. Because unlike the German soldiers who were trying to defend Germany, a racist is not defending anything.
Maybe the KKK.
They are not under any sort of...
Maybe they're defending the KKK, but...
No. Because the KKK in itself doesn't need defending. Because here's what I mean by defending.
Okay.
When you defend a country, the country can have motives that are unknown to you.
Sure.
When you are a racist, you know the motives of what you're doing. Because that's what makes you a racist. There is nothing that is unknown to you. You know all your decisions. A Nazi soldier could be defended in court as not knowing what he was doing. Not understanding the grotesqueness of the orders he was given.
So
because he believed of a different intention.
So how do we prove police are racist or not racist then?
Because the police are the ones making the decisions.
But if they're following a racist law, but they don't know it's racist...
Here's the thing. It's not following racist laws. That would have been its own problem.
Okay.
What happened with officers fucking killing black people is not them following laws. It's them breaking laws to kill black people.
Okay, gotcha.
That's how we know what they're doing is racist. Well, because they're going inherently against laws to go out of their way to kill black people.
See, because when I was in college, because I took an African literature thing, and a lot of people were talking about this idea that in order to make change, we have to change the laws to get rid of the racist stuff.
There are racist laws.
So that's why I thought it is for
but
racist
that
laws,
isn't
that's where it's coming
what
from.
The cops getting blamed for is coming from.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
The cops are... So, George Floyd is a great example.
Okay.
right?
Of all of the choices, I don't know. There's so many examples now.
He's a great example of a police officer doing something racist while not following a racist law.
Okay.
So that's how we know that the situation with George Floyd was a racist intent. This is why.
Okay.
George Floyd has been accused of bringing in a counterfeit $20 bill. The standard procedure for dealing with someone who has counterfeit money...
In what state, by the way? Sorry, I just figured I mentioned.
In Minnesota.
It's in Minnesota, okay.
The standard procedure for dealing with someone who brings in counterfeit money is to stop them, confiscate the money, inspect it to find out if it is counterfeit, and then question on where they received it.
Makes sense, yeah.
That is the entirety.
Well, don't they get a fine? Don't you get a fine, too?
Only if it's a repeat offense, not on the first time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, on the first time you're fine. It's just because
accidents happen too, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. Because you can just have a bad luck and someone's given you counterfeit money.
Right. I see.
So you have no reason to ever be in cuffs. You have no reason to be detained. You have no reason for anyone to ever lay their hands on you if you use counterfeit money. Okay?
Cool.
Here's the thing. One, he wasn't using counterfeit money.
Yikes.
The money he used wasn't counterfeit.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Two, when the officers arrived, they immediately threw him into cuffs and began shoving him around without asking any questions.
Were they called in for a fake money thing? Is that
what they were called in for fake? Yeah, they were called in for a counterfeit.
Huh. Okay.
They immediately put him in cuffs and immediately began putting him on the hood, ripping through his wallet, pulling out stuff. Then when he said he hadn't done anything wrong and he wouldn't remain silent, which, by the way, he has every right not to remain silent.
I know. Yep.
They pushed him to the ground, and when he complained that he was in pain, they started to put force on him, and then one officer put his name or put his knee on the back of his neck. And as he screamed that he couldn't breathe and he was running out of air, and as he begged and cried for his mother, he continued to apply pressure until George Floyd stopped moving and stopped breathing. While onlookers were clearly pointing out that George Floyd is suffocating, they need to get off of him, that they're killing him. And then when the medics came and checked on him and found he was dead, the officer was going to receive no punishment.
So I'm curious, in that kind of situation, if an onlooker pushed the officer off, would that be against the law? Is that assaulting an officer?
Yep.
But can't you resist an unlawful act?
Now you understand the problem of the laws.
What do you mean?
You absolutely can resist an unjust arrest.
Right.
However, the officer could still charge you with assaulting an officer, even if you're in the right.
What qualifies? What qualifies as an assault? Just any laying of hands, or?
Yep. Whatever a cop decides it is.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Whoa, I thought an assault is like, it has to be like battery or, assault.
No.
You assault an officer.
Not when it comes to an officer.
But the law would...
Officers have been found repeatedly for faking assault charges. Where a person, they'll put someone in cuffs and then they'll get like really close to them so their body cam is covered. And then they're like, oh, you just hit me. When someone else recording clearly shows that they didn't get hit.
Oof.
And so they'll add on an assault charge. So the biggest problem with the police force is that the police force, being a cop, already has an inherent racist, because when it was founded to capture escaped slaves and oppress them.
Right.
And likewise, throughout the years, it has only ever kept that mentality. And so while there are a lot of racist laws and a lot of classist laws, the police themselves will go out of their way to oppress minorities. Which makes the cops in question inherently racist, and why a lot of people are like, when people are like, oh, back the blue, no. Cops inherently, there are so many more racist cops than there are ever good cops that you have been outweighed. It's
that's sad.
It's the, like, if you went into a room, if you got put into a room with 10 dudes, right?
Right.
And they said 9 of these dudes are killers. 9 of these dudes will kill you for no reason.
And I guess I'm getting killed.
Are you going to say hi to any of those dudes?
Well, no, probably not.
No, because on the off chance one of them is good, you're not going to take the fucking chance.
Right. A more common analogy is the idea that if I gave you a bag of M&Ms and I told you 3 of them are poisoned, would you eat the M&Ms?
Right.
Because you don't know which ones are good or bad.
But that's a bad anomaly. Or that's a bad one. You know why?
Why?
Because it presents the idea that the majority is good.
I guess.
But in this case, the majority of police are not good.
Like, for example, like, if I were to, for whatever, obviously it's fake because I could never be a cop, but if I wanted to be a cop, and we both know I'm not racist, and I go and do my job, and then why would I have to, like, how would I prove that I'm not a racist, right?
You can't.
So what are they...
Other than doing your job correctly.
Huh. Okay. So,
and that's the problem, is because there are inherently also racist laws. Some of the laws you would be expected to enforce are also inherently racist.
Interesting.
See the problem? Which is why people wanted a police reform.
Makes sense.
Where we rewrote the laws.
Well, I think I voted on the police reform. I don't know. It didn't go through,
right.
But...
exactly, which was part of the problem.
Right.
The police reform didn't go through, which is part of the problem with police. Police have a lot more autonomy than they should. They're allowed to kind of decide whether or not what they're doing is right or wrong, with very little oversight.
Do you think that if we replace the police with MPs, would that be better or no?
Probably, because MPs don't have as many inherently racist laws.
Interesting.
Because military police were built originally for dealing with military. Well, and most military was white. So the base of their laws aren't even inherently racist. They're structured. Okay. Where normal police laws were literally built to oppress the black people.
Okay.
So inherently their laws are racist.
Because my point is, if we, instead of trying to reform the police, just got rid of them and replaced them with military police, would that be better, or would it make us more closer to a dictator like fat country? To have military police?
I don't think military police would be bad as long as they acted using laws that are already in place on base.
Okay.
Well, because I've had friends who are military police.
Okay.
And their jobs are literally, you're speeding, I pull you over and I tell you not to speed.
Okay.
You can't drive on base with a gun.
Sure.
You can't, there are laws, but none of their laws are like, hey, you can't sleep outside because you're homeless.
Wait, that's a law?
That's a